I'm seeing it in South Florida, where I live, where most of our representatives are Republican. And the suffering and fear that the Latino community is undergoing in Miami and South Florida, all over the country. The windows of their cars are getting smashed. They're getting dragged through the streets by men in masks who are picking them. Children are being torn from the arms of their mothers. And this is happening, and our Republican congresspeople aren't saying a damn thing because they are more scared of Trump right now than they are scared of losing their seats. And that has got to change because we have no guardrails right now. We have no checks and balances. There is no oversight.
You voted for Trump. How do you feel now?
Horrible.
What did you vote for?
I voted for change, but I didn't vote for this change.
Su nombre, Daisy Salvador. Daisy, ¿usted está aquí con su esposo? Con mi esposo que fue detenido ahora injustamente.
A proud President Trump supporting family in Diamond Bar.
Election time was here, I had a full 3-4 flags out.
Even while their mom faces immigration questions.
The fact that 60% of male Latino voters all voted for Trump still boggles my mind. Most of these voters are birthright citizens, as in mom and dad crossed the border, came here, gave birth to your stanky ass, and you still had the audacity to vote for him, despite the fact that he has promised mass deportations the second that he gets into that office. Oh, he's just the president, he can't do all that, right? Bro, did y'all forget the Supreme Court literally gave this man presidential immunity a couple months ago, as in he can do whatever the fuck he wants as long as he is in a position of power? Did we really just forget about all that? So if you voted for Trump and the government finds out that your parents are here illegally, you better start packing up their bags right away. And you better be truthful to them as to the reason as to why they have to go back to their country. I hope throwing your immigrant families under the bus for an extra $80 in your paycheck is all worth it in the end.
Latinos for Trump is such an embarrassment.
I voted for Donald Trump.
And why did you cast that vote?
I voted for him the first election, the second time he ran, and again, third time. Even though he lost the last one, but I still...
In terms of policy, what were you gravitating toward?
I was really focused on the immigration part, believe it or not.
So tell me about your stance on immigration.
From my heritage, my Mexican-American heritage, immigration is very important to me. It's been very important to our family. The misconception we have with immigration is that we should just let everybody in, right? But I also believe there needs to be a proper way to do that, as opposed to just bringing in anyone that decides they want to be here.
Hi, I want you guys to help me in this. From the beginning, you'll hear this lady saying that the people who are living in Florida, Miami, the people who voted for Trump in Florida and Miami are Republicans. Well, we know that very well, that 60% of the people who voted for Trump were Latinos. And these are the Latinos who live in South Florida and Miami. We all know that Cubans, Venezuelans, Mexicans, all this group, these are the people who went out and voted. They're the Latinos who went out and voted for Trump. And now that they know that it has dawned on them that they made the worst decision ever for voting the orange man, they're coming here, flipping the whole thing and complaining, going out there and complaining that the people actually who lives in Miami and Florida are Republicans, of which it's a total lie. We know the truth. It has done to them that they're the people who went against their own communities and voted for Trump. And what were they thinking when Trump came with these policies of when he said like he was going to conduct mass deportation? They're just reaping what they sow. This has made their families, most of their families who have been living on all the beneficiaries in the United States, they've been cut off. Most of the people, their families, their relatives who are undocumented are being deported back to their countries. And it's so sad that these people went against their own communities. These people were brought in by their families, fathers, grandfather, grandfather who came to the United States a very, very long time ago, and they had the citizenship. We have seen so many things happening in America. Even the kids who were born in the United States of America, they are being stripped of their right birth. You understand? And most men also went out there and voted for Trump, and they're admitting it. They voted for the change. They didn't research what type of change these people are voting for. And the change that they're voting for is what they are receiving right now. And now they're not acknowledging it, because that's what ignorance does to you. When you don't research, when you just vote blindly, when you want other communities to suffer and you want to protect your own community, and alas, it dawns to you that, okay, you voted, but now this is not what you're getting. That's when you always coming here crying. When you went out there and campaigned, composed songs, you are dancing in the campaign podium saying like Trump. Now he's just giving you back what you wanted, what you're looking for. So you're gonna deal with that, guys. You're gonna deal with that. You're gonna go back home. You don't come here in favor of somebody knowing that they're going to protect you because you know that there's this community that is going to suffer. There's nothing like that. You just went to the United States. You want everything in America to be yours. You don't want this community to benefit from Americans. You don't want, no. And see what you have brought now. There are so many aids that has been stopped because of your vote. So guys, I just want you to watch these videos. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel, guys. Subscribe to this channel. Your support, I need it. It will always improve my logarithm. When you like, comment, let me know where you're watching me from. And I'm called Erin. So Ita, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Kindly subscribe to this channel, and let's watch this video till the end.
To go after Cubans. We are not the bad people. I vote Trump because he wants to help the people, but this is not right.
The fact that so many Latino men voted for Trump this election is embarrassing and pathetic. Trump won 54% of Latino male voters this election compared to 36% in 2020. This is the same man who ran a campaign on wanting to round up Latinos, is calling for the largest deportation operation in American history, recently had a speaker at his rally call Puerto Rico trash, and wants to end birthright citizenship for the children of undocumented immigrants. Like, do y'all really seek white validation that badly, or does the machismo in you really stop you from voting for a woman?
I'm seeing some misplaced anger from some Latino people coming out saying, oh, black people, you need to be out there with us, front line, standing with us in solidarity. We did. We stood with y'all in that voting booth. Black people voted in solidarity against that man. I'm not saying this is not our fight. What I am saying, we stood up for y'all when y'all didn't stand up for yourselves. Matter of fact, let me show you something right quick. This is from American Society, Council of Americas, who got their data from the Associated Press, as you can see right here. 42% Latino voters cast a ballot for Donald Trump. Y'all are house divided. Now, to compare, 81% of black folks voted for Kamala Harris. Actively voted against this, what's happening right now. So I'm not saying don't be upset, but maybe direct it towards your own kinfolk, your own skin folk first. Because we stood with y'all in that booth.
Also, you left Latin America because you say you were living under a dictatorship where you weren't allowed to criticize the government. You know, they were taking away your rights. So you came to the United States, got papers, and voted for Donald Trump?
One thing to be a Latino for Trump, but a Latina for Trump, a woman who is openly agreeing to policies that will harm women rights, it's wild. Might as well just smack yourself in the face, because that's exactly what you're doing, pushing these policies that are going to harm our reproductive freedom, policies that are going to cut healthcare that cover maternity leave, policies that are going to help cut cut programs to help against domestic violence. Also policies that are taking a step back on why it's important to have equal pay and work protection for women. Do you really not know how long it took women to be able to work, to be able to vote, to be able to get a credit card, to buy a house, to file for divorce? That you are now against the feminist movement because you have now been brainwashed to believe that the only important role a woman should keep are the traditional gender roles. By all means, be a housewife, be a stay-at-home mom. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But do not be blindsided to think that this MAGA movement actually cares about women and their rights, which they don't. And although you may want to be a stay-at-home mom and be that traditional woman, that's fine, you can be it. But maybe your daughter doesn't. So don't take away the rights that they have of in the future being able to decide what roles they want to play in life. Because at the end of the day, a feminist is not a bad thing. A feminist is just a woman who wants to end sexism, oppression, and discrimination.
Am I surprised that a lot of Latino men voted for Trump? No. What else do we expect from a culture that is full of abusers, even within our own families? This has always been a very hard conversation for our community to have. And I'm not saying that the Latino community is the only community that is doing this, because there are many. The fact that a lot of us have tios, primos, abuelitos who are PDF files in our families, and we don't say anything about it. We all know an abuser in our extended family who has essayed someone, a child most of the time. We always sweep it under the rug. We do not want to cause problems. We don't want the family to break apart. What are we going to do at the next carne asada if we confront the primo or the uncle? Loyalty and compassion is almost always given to the abuser and never the victim. I personally know of families today that have gone through something like this that still have not confronted their abuser, that still go to a family function, a carne asada, whatever, and that abuser is most likely there. So am I surprised that Latino men, despite the charges that Trump had against minors, still voted for him? No. I'm not. Am I disgusted? Yes. Surprised? Unfortunately not. And by no means am I generalizing that all Latino men are this way, because they're not. But we all have to be honest with ourselves, amigos, that this is a very prevalent issue in the Latino community, and it happens more often than we want.